what does it actually tell about? It tells about very important short note, that is causa occasionalis. Now what is causa occasionalis? Causa occasionalis means both exciting cause and maintaining cause. So the exciting cause and maintaining cause together are called as causa occasionalis. As because I have already explained and taught to you exciting cause in Aphorism 5, here I will be only giving importance to maintaining cause. But when it comes in exam, don't forget you have to write both exciting and maintaining cause. So what is maintaining cause? The cause which prolongs the disease and maintains it is called maintaining cause. So what does maintaining cause cause? A maintaining cause causes pseudo chronic disease. Pseudo means false. So false chronic disease or pseudo chronic disease. Pseudochronic disease is explained very beautifully by Hahnemann in Aphorism 77. So all the examples which I will be telling now for maintaining cause, if you want to refer it, you will get it in Organon of Medicine, but under Aphorism 77 where pseudochronic disease is actually explained in detail. So maintaining cause, if we let it go, then it is causes pseudochronic disease, means false chronic disease. But if this pseudochronic disease is not corrected, or if the maintaining cause is not removed timely, then it will lead to chronic disease. So if not corrected, then it will trigger the chronic miasm and thus will lead to chronic disease. So if removed at the right time, then lot of your energy and patient's energy and health is saved. But if not, then it will lead to a chronic disease. So that's why we study maintaining cause, because as a doctor, if we know what are the maintaining causes and correct it timely and we be the preserver of health, then the patient need not suffer with this disease. So let us see the examples which we are going to give for maintaining cause. So the first example is habit of indulging in injurious liquors or ailments. So the example which comes under this is, for example, alcohol. Now alcohol, good for health, bad for health, there is a lot of debate on it. Everything is good until unless it is consumed only in a necessary quantity, only according to its taste. But if the level crosses, and you are no longer able to live without it, then the person becomes addicted to it and later may come up with some disease. So alcohol, it's not that if you are going to consume a glass of it, you are going to fall sick. But if it is being repeatedly done, then it can cause injury to your body and at long run can cause cirrhosis of liver. So this point, when you are just taking it, if you are telling and advising the patient that continuous usage may land you up into a hospital, then and he corrects it, then the maintaining cause is removed and there is no further need of treatment. But if not, and patient continues and there is changes in his liver and he ends up with cirrhosis of liver or certain other conditions which overconsumption of alcohol can cause, then we can have to treat it as a pseudochronic disease, a chronic disease, sorry. Another example is smoking. A pack a day many people start with initially, but then later they become addicted to it. Now there are people who tell that I have been taking it for years and yet I have not had any complaints. Of course, it always depends on your susceptibility or your immunity. One point of time your body is going to break and you are going to produce symptoms. But let us not wait till it becomes a chronic disease. So if overconsumption of or if you continue smoking for a long period of time, you may end up with having cancer lung. Like the same way, pan, gutka, tobacco, continuous usage can cause oral cancer. Now for this, if it is removed at the right time, then it can save your body. The other example which I'd like to give is, first let me just clear this board. Prolonged abstinence from things that are necessary for life. Now, after completing my BHMS and MD, I went further ahead and did my course on cosmetology and trichology. So nowadays I am seeing many patients with hair related and skin related complaints. Now the most common thing which I am seeing nowadays, which causes or brings up skin and hair complaints, is nothing but vitamin D deficiency. Now why do we have vitamin D deficiency? We are staying in a place where sun is easily available. You just have to step outside the house and yet we come up with vitamin D deficiency. So vitamin D, how do we get vitamin D? Is through sunlight. Now prolonged abstinence from things that are necessary for life. What does this tell about? It tells about all the important things in the nature which is available and yet we don't take it or we don't take it seriously and we fall sick and bring on diseases. Now vitamin D deficiency is because of lack of exposure to sunlight. Once you stand in the sun or you expose, of course you can remove all the skin and hair diseases or many other complaints which are related to that. So there are many such things which are necessary for life. For example, you take about vitamins and minerals. Nowadays we are going more towards junk food and fast food, but we are forgetting that we always require vegetables and fruits. If we are not taking them or consuming them and we are spending more of our money on unwanted things, gradually we will end up with a vitamin and mineral deficiency, which will bring on diseases. If it is corrected in the right time, then pseudochronic disease, if not, becomes a chronic disease. So always better understand this and try to explain the patients its importance. Now next example will be residing in unhealthy locations. Example, marshy districts or damp cellars, etc. So this also works in the same way. If your body does not get the needed sunlight or open air, of course it starts producing symptoms. But these things helps us to understand and further utilize it, or even help in selection of medicine. How? Of course you know that damp basements or damp cellars, the best remedies which come up with patients who have symptoms because of that, like respiratory complaints, then of course natramur and dulcamara will help in such complaints. So location helps, but if this is the one which is triggering the disease, it's right time to come out of it. Deprived of exercise or open air. So what happens if we are deprived of exercise? Of course, the most common thing which brings on many diseases nowadays, obesity. And same way, if you are not doing regular exercises, it will affect your physical health as well as your mental health. And if you become obese, of course it will bring on a range of other symptoms also. So we understand the importance and try to do things better. Overexertion of mind or body. Here I'd like to give example of all the women out there who start suddenly getting feel the urge to do a cleaning spree and go about cleaning the house all of a sudden. Now they keep on working and they overexert their body beyond a certain point when the aches and pains starts. Of course, as far as it's mind, no need. But if it starts producing, it becomes severe. Depending on the intensity, remedies like Rustox or Bryonia can help in the case. So overexertion of mind and body again becomes a maintaining cause in many diseases. Sixth, constant state of worry. This is a most important maintaining cause. Why? Because of some point of time, we all human beings are loaded with lot of thoughts which come in our mind. If every thought brings on worry, and this worry will later cause physical or mental diseases. So constant state of worry also acts as a maintaining cause. I can give you a beautiful example of a lady whose son is under my treatment for urticaria and fungal infection of the scalp. Now this son has lot of hair, he is only 20 years, lost lot of hair on his vertex area, and his scalp is very much visible. Being only just 20 years old, of course it's an issue both for the patient, but it becomes a big issue for the mother. Now the mother came and requested to me that whether her son is showing any improvement, but the case has been with me only since 15 days. Then the patient or the mother went to the extent of telling me that she is always worried about the son. So she has been taking photos of her son's scalp every single day. So what do you think this is? This is again a constant state of worry. Now we all are human beings. Of course there are so many things we have to do. But if we are always on edge and we are always going to be so worried about our things around us, then naturally it will act as a maintaining cause, and some point of time the chronic miasm may just awaken and bring on a chronic disease. So how does the understanding about the maintaining cause help you? So once you understand the maintaining cause, how does it help you in the clinic? So clinical importance. understand their cause and remove them. Sometimes patient may not even be knowing that this acts as a maintaining cause for their disease. So it is your job to help the patient out in that particular moment and advise them. Like as I told, advise about their exercise, about their vitamin mineral intake, about the exposure to sunlight, about the constant state of worry, about over the exertion of body or mind. So these all things as a doctor you know which will cause as a maintaining cause, and you have to let this know to the patient so that they can remove them. And once removed, of course, if in the initial stage they can go to a state of health and they may not even require our help. But if not, then it is your point to help them. Now, second is, once you understand the maintaining cause, of course, this helps in remedy selection also. We have so many remedies. For example, people who are having sedentary lifestyle, Naxomica, people who are obese, calcareous, bronchitis, calica. So these maintaining causes itself can point to remedies. And damp cellars, of course, natron sulfate, dull camera, overexertion of body, then of course rust talks. So many remedies will help you understand. You can understand by understanding the maintaining cause. So thank you. That's all for today. Today understand this question properly so that it will not only help you in your papers but also in your practice. Thank you.